Google will add in a highly cited feature for news. Will this help disinformation? Let's find out. All right, welcome back. So Google search is going to include a highly cited label that will help you get to the source of the story. So one of the things that has been somewhat annoying in the last year or so is basically misinformation. But the problem is that sometimes misinformation today might be actual news tomorrow. So it's a real problem, and this is probably a step in the right direction here. Now, when it comes to news, I always like to go onto different sources, but not everybody has time for that. And the reason why I like to go into different sources is that if you're not going to different sources of news, you're not getting a balanced diet of news. If you eat the same thing every day, that's not very good. But if you have a balanced diet, it's a lot better, and you need to do the same with the news here. The problem, though, is that if you're the kind of person that only goes to one news source, going to a different news source with an opposing view is really difficult. So the way that you should probably think about it is that, look, if you're going to explore and find the news and, well, frankly, kind of hold up any kind of skepticism to whatever news that you're doing here. Now, of course, if you like a specific opinion person, well, then you can obviously watch that person. However, I think one of the things that would really help this, problem here is to have kind of a more aggregate of what news people are saying. And so if there is a bunch of people that over time kind of report the facts versus report the opinion, then you might want to trust that news here. So it would be a very simple thing where you have on one side, you'd see, what people are reporting and whatnot, and you'd see, over time, you'd have a more trusted news source. And what would most likely happen is people would, at least I hope, go to those sites a little bit more here. And it's really difficult because, if you like a specific news source, you're going to get locked into this filter bubble here. And I think that's a big problem. So is this going to help? Well, I think it definitely could here. But really, what really needs to happen is basically aggregate the news sources all around the world. Because, in some other places, some issues are political, and in other places, they're not. So if you want to get to the bottom of something, then perhaps you should go to a news source in an area where that particular topic is not politicized. And believe it or not, this does happen all the time. So having some data on how politicized a topic is would be really good here. Now, the problem, though, is will people actually go do that? Well, for me personally, once politics enters any kind of given area, I tend to kind of leave because, it just gets too politicized. I just kind of want to know the facts and kind of make up my own opinion. So, will this highly cited feature help? Well, I think it actually will help. At least it's a step in the right direction. But really, we need an aggregate of all the news, and we need more data on what news is reporting what. And frankly, we need a highly politicized meter. Now, I'm sure some smart people are thinking about this. This is not exactly my expertise of domain to set up that particular kind of tech platform, but I would really hope to use it. And I might even pay a monthly fee for that kind of service, just because I kind of want the news, because it's my job to know what the news is. And frankly, if I could get a less politicized version of whatever news I'm getting, I think that's good too. Now, the other thing that I've actually learned is that if you do want less politicized news, go to a secondary outlet that kind of reports on a different topic here. I go to a lot of tech topics, and of course things can get political here. But the thing is that these other topics have a wide variety of different political opinions on them, and they just kind of report the facts. And of course, the comment sections are not very good. But the news articles themselves are a lot better here. So if you're already looking for that, you should take a look at that here. And you know what? Having a website, or if you are like a news site or a kind of a bulletin board kind of a site, then perhaps you should be able to get like a politicized score, a fact-checking score. But basically, I think in the next 5 years, there's going to be some fact-checking sites that mostly everyone can agree on. And if anything, that's a huge problem. Most people need to go to a few sources to get their information. And the problem is that a lot of the news is so politicized, then you're not really getting the best spin of information. All right, so that concludes this video. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think it's a good idea? Will this highly cited feature help? I want to know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.